Sit comfortably on your mat with your legs crossed. Stretch the arms out in front of you. Reach them overhead, allow them to fall back and out to the sides. Make several big circles with the arms at your own pace. Complete your final circle and stretch the arms out wide. And as if you're giving yourself a hug, wrap your right arm over your left. Take your fingertips to your back. Feel your shoulder blades separate. Release the arms, stretch them out wide. Wrap the left arm over the right, give yourself a hug. Allow the shoulder blades to separate. Release. Take the arms out wide again. This time coming to eagle arms. Take the right arm over the left, wrapping once or twice. Your elbows are in alignment with your shoulders and your forearms are moving away from your face. And release the arms. Take them out wide. Take the left arm over the right, wrapping once or twice. Release the arms. Interlace your fingers behind you. Roll your shoulder blades together. Open the chest, look up. Release the back bend. Keep the interlace of your fingers. Take your hands around to the right side of your waist. Drop your left shoulder. Turn your head to the right. Take the hands behind you, straighten the arms, roll the shoulder blades together, lift the chest. Release the back bend, take the hands over to the left side of the waist, drop the right shoulder, turn your head to the left. And release your fingers. Take your right fingertips behind you, or take the back of your right hand to the left side of the waist. Take the back of the left hand to the outside of the right knee and twist to the right. Release your twist, come back to center. Take the left fingertips behind you, or take the back of the left hand to the right side of the waist. Take the back of the right hand to the left knee. Twist to the left. And release your twist, come back to center. Uncross the legs, stretch them out long in front of you. Walk your hands out, fold down over the legs. Allow the spine to round, let the head go. Option to have the hands alongside the legs, or take hold of your feet and pull yourself deeper into your forward fold. And slowly rise up. Take the legs out wide into a straddle. Bend your right knee. Take your heel in close to your body. Set your left hand down to the inside of your left leg. Your right arm stretches overhead. Look up. Lean over to the left. Open up the right side body. Come up. Set your right hand down on the mat beside you. Lift the hips up. Ground your left foot. Your left arm stretches overhead as you lean back. And sit the hips back down. Stretch your right leg out wide. Bend your left leg. Take the heel in close to the body. Set your right hand down on the inside of your right leg. Left arm stretches alongside the ear. Look up. Lean over to the right. Open up the left side body. Release, come up. Set your left hand down on the mat beside you. Lift the hips, ground your right foot, right arm swings up and overhead, lean back. And release, set the hips back down on the mat. Re-extend your left leg, come back into your straddle position. Walk the hands out in front of you, flex both feet. Stay here or come down onto your forearms. Option to make a pillow with your hands to rest your forehead down. Breathe here. And slowly rise up. Walk the hands back in. Gently take your legs together. Soles of the feet flat on the mat. Prop yourself up on your hands behind you. Drop your knees over to the left. Drop them over to the right. Continue to alternate. Release that deep hip stretch. And come to a tabletop position on your hands and knees, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, neutral spine. Take 3 rounds of cat-cow. On an inhale, lower the belly, expand through the chest. On an exhale, round the spine, take the chin into the chest. Inhale, release the belly down. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. And come to a neutral spine. Stretch the right arm all the way up to the ceiling. Lower it down, thread it under the left. Take the right shoulder and ear down to the mat. Left hand stretches up overhead. Stay here. Or take the left toes to the back of the mat and straighten the left leg. Set the knee down. Bring the hand back in. Press up. Re-extend your right arm all the way up and release the hand down to the mat. Left arm reaches all the way up to the ceiling. Lower it back down, thread it under the right, left shoulder and ear to the mat. Right hand reaches up overhead. Stay here, or take the right toes to the back of the mat and straighten the leg. Set the knee down. Bring the hand back in. Press up. Re-extend your left arm all the way up to the ceiling. Release the hand down to the mat. Keeping the alignment of your hips over your knees, walk your hands all the way out to take your forehead down to the mat. Draw the rib cage in to take the stretch more into the shoulders and upper back. Rise up slightly. Walk the hands in to a little bit past your shoulders. Tuck the toes. Send the hips high for downward dog. Make any movements here that feel good to you, or settle into stillness. Step the right foot to the top of the mat in between the hands. Set your back knee down, untuck the toes. Interlace your fingers on top of your right thigh. Breathe here. Keeping your left hand on top of your knee, stretch your right arm straight out in front of you and circle it around. Stretch it all the way back. Look back at your hand and circle it around. Come back to the front. Return your gaze forward and take 4 more big circles with the arm, taking the gaze from front to back in alignment with your hand. And set the hands down on the mat, frame the front foot, tuck your back toes, step back into downward dog. Step your left foot in between the hands, drop the back knee, untuck the toes. Find your low lunge, interlace your fingers on top of your left thigh, hold here, breathe. Keeping your right hand on your knee, stretch your left arm straight out in front of you. Take it up by the ear, stretch it out all the way behind you. Look back at your hand, circle it around to come forward. Take 4 more slow, big circles with the arm, taking your gaze from front to back in alignment with your hand. Set the hands down on the mat, frame the front foot, step back into downward dog. Set the right foot down at the top of the mat, drop the back knee, untuck the toes. Ground your left hand down, stretch your right arm all the way up to the ceiling, look up at your hand. And lift the torso. Take your right hand to the back of your left thigh. Left arm stretches overhead. Turn your gaze to look at the back of your mat. And release the arms, set the hands down. Step back into downward dog. Step your left foot to the top of the mat. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes. Set the right hand down. Stretch your left arm all the way up to the ceiling. Look up. And lift the torso. Left hand goes to the back of your right thigh. Right arm stretches all the way up. Turn your gaze to look at the back of your mat. Release. Set the hands down. Step back into downward dog. Shift forward to plank pose, shoulders over wrists. Take your right knee behind your right wrist. For pigeon, set the hips down, stretch your back leg out long. Keep your shin parallel to the front edge of your mat, or take your heel in closer towards the body. Stay upright or come down onto your forearms. Option to make a pillow with your hands and set the forehead down. Breathe here. Slowly rise up. Set the hands down in front of you. Tuck the back toes. Step back into downward dog. Shift forward into plank pose. Take your left knee behind your left wrist. Set the hips down for pigeon. Stretch the back leg out long behind you. Take your shin to parallel with the front edge of your mat, or bring the heel in closer to your body. Stay upright, or come down onto the forearms, or make a pillow with your hands and set the forehead down. Breathe here. Slowly rise up. Set the hands down. Tuck the back toes. Step back into downward dog. Shift forward to plank. Elbows bend straight back. Lower down all the way to your belly. Lift the chest for cobra. Elbows are slightly bent. Hips are pressing into the mat. Stay here or straighten the arms. Lift the thighs off the mat for upward dog. Lower down and roll onto your back. Soles of the feet come to rest flat on the mat. Arms are alongside the body, palms facing down. Press into your feet to lift your hips, lower and mid back off the mat. Stay here or roll your shoulders underneath you. Interlace your fingers, press the hips up even higher. Squeeze your glutes. Press your thighs in towards each other. Breathe here. Release your hands. Lower your hips back down to the mat. Stretch your right leg all the way up to the ceiling. Interlace your fingers behind your thigh or your calf. Keep the left foot flat on the mat or extend it long. Pull your right leg in towards your chest. Release. Bend your right leg. Align your ankle over your knee. Take hold of the outer edge of your right foot. Pull the knee down to the right, slightly outside of the torso. Ground your left hip down with your left hand. Release your foot. Take both feet flat on the mat. Cross your right leg over the left. Take the arms out to a T. Shift your hips slightly to the right. Drop the knees off to the left for a twist. And take the knees back up. Soles of the feet come to the mat. Stretch your left leg all the way up to the ceiling. Interlace your fingers behind your thigh or your calf. Keep the right foot flat on the mat or stretch the leg out long. Pull your left leg in towards your chest. Release. Bend your left leg. Align your ankle over your knee. Take hold of the outer edge of your foot. Pull the knee down to the left, slightly outside the torso. Ground your right hip down with your right hand. And release your foot. Take the soles of the feet back to the mat. Cross your left leg over the right. Take the arms out to a T. Shift the hips to the left slightly. Drop the knees over to the right for a twist. Take the knees up, undo your twist. Bring the soles of the feet to touch. Allow the knees to fall out to the sides. Stretch your arms overhead. Hold on to opposite elbows. Close your eyes. Rest here, or allow the body to take a different shape for final relaxation. Shavasana. Namaste.